Welcome. Today's episode, it's episode 184. It's the beginning of April. And got an episode for you today. I've entitled it Faux Sponsor, Card Fracking. So first, before I talk about this potential sponsor, I'm going to talk about the actual sponsors that I'm very proud of. Glad to have Topps, Panini, and Upper Deck, Heritage Auctions, Huggins & Scott Auctions, Burbank Sports Cards, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Beckett Grading, Beckett Media, Beckett Authentication, and ComC. I frequently get asked about, somebody wants to be a sponsor, they want to be an advertiser on the show, and up to this point, I've always turned them down. I've got plenty of sponsors, and they're sponsors that I handpick that I enjoy, and it's easy for me to say nice things about them. But occasionally, there's some interesting new innovations out there, and I thought, well, this might be something worth bringing to your attention, my faithful listeners. I love new innovations. Was really delighted in being a part of that at Beckett Publications back in the day. But card fracking, new concept. It's actually a breaking technology. Before I even get started, this has nothing to do with StarStock, which is the selling platform, which is launching and getting rolling here this spring. Card fracking is completely a breaking technology. So it's about breaking. You know that, well, first of all, what is fracking? Fracking is a controversial process for recovering oil that without fracking was not available to be consumed by the public. And so card fracking is a play on that. When breaking has taken off over the last many years, there are people doing case breaks, box breaks, even pack breaks. But so far, there's not really been card breaking or card fracking done. And that's because there are some technological challenges with that and some marketing challenges. But the card fracking guys have figured out a way around that. They have a patent pending process. They are able to take a card, really any card that's 2.5 by 3.5, that's what they're starting with, and breaking it up, fracking it, actually using a commercial laser cutter to very precisely cut this card, this 2.5 by 3.5 card, into 35 1/2 by 1/2 inch pieces of the card. Again, their patent is still pending because they're not in use, but they have a way to so precisely cut the card that I think you'll see there's some benefits that have not been available up to this point. The whole idea and I don't want to get too far ahead of it, but I think they would like to license the technology to others. I don't know that they want to be an operational company. They want to just hold a patent, license the technology. And for reasons that will become clear later, I think their ideal home for the license would be Beckett Grading Services. And again, they would like to do that and announce it and roll it out at the national, but you may not hear about this because it's all bets are off with respect to even the national. I'm hoping it's going to go on, but we're sitting here again early April and realizing that our world is in quarantine. There's a group out there. This is not also to be confused with Rally Road, which is another group that has developed a fractional ownership program that's really at the other end of the market, the very top end of the market, of very expensive cards and memorabilia, where you can own a kind of like a share of stock in something, and then if it's sold, you can see the value of your investment. Well, this is not that. This is we're actually going to chop the card up. Now, you think, well, that would be a problem. Well, not necessarily. Again, a patented process that not only can very exactly chop up the card, but again, you don't have to put a super expensive card in there, which again would potentially decrease that value. But there are certain cards that would be ideal for this process that could actually increase the value and really develop some excitement in the breaking process in hopes that you would get one of the more valuable pieces. The idea, again, I don't know exactly what their patent is. I haven't seen it, but apparently they have such a precise laser cutting process that when as long as they take a card that has a perfect surface, again, the Beckett grading, this is why Beckett is such a natural, the centering, the corners, the edges, and the surface. If the surface is perfect, and that they may even have a process to smooth out the surface. But again, if the surface is not perfect, this would not be, you would not want to run a card through the card fracking. But if the surface is perfect, their patented process can slice the card with this laser in such a way that the centering, again, they cannot guarantee it, but they're implying that a large percent of these card fracks are going to can be BGS 10s. Because you think about it, if it's a perfect surface, the centering, they can get the centering perfect because they're cutting it right there. The edges, the interior edges, not the outside edges of the existing card. If you take like a card that is like a basketball team card from the 90s that would be almost junk wax, maybe a Team USA card. Well, it's got all these pictures of the Dream Team on there, including Michael Jordan. If you cut that card into 35 pieces, each 1.5 inch by 1/2 inch, and again, very precisely, and the surface is completely clean, the edges and the corners and the centering is exactly perfect. So again, they can't guarantee it, but they're implying that there will be a high percentage of, if these cards, these fracks are put through the grading process, there's not only a good chance they'll get BGS 10s, but there's a good chance some of them can get black labels. Again, there'll be nothing wrong with it. It'll be right from scratch. The breaking aspect is that obviously you'd want to be one of the person that gets the better image. Obviously, on a card, you don't want the fracks that are on the edges. They'll definitely not, they most likely will not be 10s because they have the original edges that will be rougher cut than this patented process. So you actually get this card broken, you get it fracked, and you wind up with the team card, the Team USA card that has the Michael Jordan cameo. You immediately send it into BGS, and it's slabbed not in a regular slab holder, but in like a coin holder, because again, it's just 1/2 by 1/2. It makes an excellent presentation. If you've ever wanted to own a BGS 10, which is very rare, or a BGS 10 black, which is even rarer, I don't own any of those. You would, this is your chance, and that's the appeal here. So again, this is not for everybody, but it's for people that can look ahead and see the vision that cards are beautiful. Even a part of a card, again, if it's done artistically and professionally, can look really sharp, and especially in a black label. Well, you might say, this is blasphemy. You're cutting up a card. But isn't this the same thing that was not originally accepted when old jerseys and bats and other memorabilia were cut up to make the patches? Once you own a piece of memorabilia or a card, you have the right to do whatever you want to with it. And if, in your opinion, the experience or the card or the memorabilia, the aspect can be improved by taking a regular card that may even be pretty mundane, but has some different images on it, and has a smaller image of one of your favorite players, maybe even a rookie image, then you could run it through this process, and hopefully you're one of the breakers that gets the lucky random number, and you get this, and you run it through BGS. You get your BGS 10 black label, and it could be a highlight of your collection. Again, not for everybody. If I had a Babe Ruth jersey, I wouldn't chop it up. I would keep it intact. But for a cheaper card that has some interesting images on it, that could be again, professionally cut. We don't recommend you doing this at home. That's why they've gone for the patent, because if you do it at home, you won't get a good grade. It won't look good. You won't be happy. But they came out. One of the things they have that's interesting is they have this piece of, it's not, I don't know what you call it, but it's not plexiglass, but it's a see-through material where they've actually placed the grid where you can see on it. It's on a 2.5 by 2.5 overlay. It's kind of like a penny sleeve with hash marks on it. So you can see with that special penny sleeve type thing what the squares would look like, and if the card would be suitable for being fracked in this way. So, at any rate, card fracking, again, I'm not looking for new sponsors, but just wanted to bring this idea to your attention. And I don't think you'll be seeing them at the National, but again, I love new innovations, and this sounded interesting to me. So, thanks again. Be back again tomorrow with another episode, enjoy your collecting in whatever form that takes.
The man